Hey everybody, welcome to Your Unpaid Therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Your Unpaid Therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it.
I'm Valerie Milagros Ortiz.
I don't know.
I am your host, Ali Kona. She's away. Bradford.
This is Your Unpaid Therapist. Shoo-wah, cha-cha. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Your Unpaid Therapist. Today, we are talking about finding your happy, combating loneliness, especially during this time of the year. For some people, it's super joyous, but for some of us, maybe it's not. Maybe you're dealing with a breakup, a divorce, you lost someone you love, or maybe you're just alone this holiday season. So we want to talk about all the ways we find our happy. But before we do that, hello, did I say my name? Say my name, say my name. I'm Ali Kona Bradford, and I'm joined today by my awesome co-host.
Hola, hola. Hey guys. Man, so it just dawned on me that you're going to have to go first with our weekly song because I just got off a virtual press junket, you guys. I'll talk about what I got off of that for. So while you do your song, I
go buy some time. Let's just put it in plain English. She's buying time. I'll sing.
Exactly. I was like, wait a minute.
All right. It's clear. Here we go. Me. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ear and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Oh, baby, I get by with a little help from my friends. All I need are my buddies. Get by with a little help from my friends. Okay, so that's my song. If it sounds familiar, or maybe it doesn't because I was out of key. That was the theme song for The Wonder Years by Joe Cocker. Get by with the help of my friends. Which, by the way, I always thought was get high with a little help from my friends and thought it was totally inappropriate for such a young-minded TV show. But
that is so funny.
You know what he was saying. But anyway, so I picked this song because this week I am going to be meeting up with some women that I low-key grew up with. My first job, I used to work at Clinique, guys. So we were like, the Clinique click. So silly.
I'm sure y'all call that. That was the name?
Well, I worked at Clinique and I don't know. We were just silly. But I was the youngest one there. There were two girls that were my age-ish and everybody else was grown. But those were my friends. Like anytime I was going through life things, it was my freshman year through my junior year of college. Those were the people that helped me just get through life, like my friends. So I'm seeing them tomorrow to go get a massage.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you going to one of those like Korean spa type things?
Thai massage, girl. I'm gonna have them stand all over me. It's gonna be great.
Ugh, I'm so jealous. I need a massage so bad. It's been a while. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. I'm just gonna go with the obvious. Well, it's not the obvious, but it is the obvious, and I'll go into it. Feliz Navidad.
Da, 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 da.
Feliz Navidad.
Da, da, da,
Feliz
da.
Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. All right, so that's my song because it was the last person in our press junket tour. She was actually great. She had a lot of amazing questions, but she had us sing that song together. But then and she gave people different parts. But then one of my co-stars and the producer of the film, his Zoom froze. And so and he was the first one who was supposed to start the song.
Oh no.
It was like, take it away, Manuel. And it like cut him off. So then we had to kind of keep going. So yeah, it's super fresh on my head, in my mind, and I am exhausted a little bit. I think mentally I'm like,
So wait, Val, really quick, because for people who don't know what a press junket is, Miss Movie Star, can you explain that?
So this was a virtual one, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. So like there's these like big blockbusters that come out. People who have worked on the film, the actors, they will sit in a room, and then different. Well, actually, it just depends. This is what we did. We sat in a room, virtual room, and then different publications would pop in and ask us questions. If you're doing a live press junket, all the publications are in different rooms and like at a hotel or something, or a convention center type situation. And then you walk from like room to room and get interviewed by or whoever. So this was virtually, so that was kind of nice because we got to be in our place, and then they popped in and out of our Zoom. Lady was great. It's obviously the holidays. She's Latina from Miami and Puerto Rican, and she had to sing that song. But it also it transitions well into this topic, and I love that Ali Kerner brought this up because it is, or can be, such a hard time of year. And you have songs like that are like, I want to miss you, Merry Christmas. And then you hear it playing on the radio again and again. And if you are not in that like jolly headspace, hearing these kind of songs or having people make you sing it, i.e. in an interview, which is a little strange, but playful. I like it. We rolled with it. But it just thinking like outside of what that was, like if you're not in that space, that's tough, man. Mm-hmm. That repetitiveness and commercialism of pushing all this joy and unity and love and family and yeah. So I love that she brought this up because it can be hard out there during this time of year.
Thanks. And yes, I agree. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge that too, right? Like just even talking and saying like, it's okay if you're not jolly, it's okay. But I don't know about you. I don't like to stay in the space of sadness for a long time. Like I allow myself to feel it and then try to move on. So it's like, how do you find you're happy? So for me, like I'll share something that I do. And then I'd be curious, Val, for you, like when you've had a low time, whether it is a holiday or not, because I've actually had to spend Christmas alone once. And I was like sad because I think my mom went to Hawaii to go be with her boyfriend and I was in LA. And it was the first year I think my ex had left. And I was like, it's literally just me and the dog. This is so sad and depressing. And then I was like feeling sorry for myself and blah, blah, like Merry Christmas. And I had my meal with my like vegan ham and it was like, ugh. And so it's like, how do you not, like, it's okay to feel it, but how do you get out of that? And so for me, I think the biggest thing I do whenever I'm in that space and I feel like I just can't find it, I go outside. And it sounds super cheesy, but like I'll go outside and go for a walk and then I'll be sure to check in with all 5 of my senses. So focusing on just closing my eyes and like inhaling and breathing in and like the scents that are around me and like taking note of what is what. And then being like, I'm so lucky that I can even smell that evergreen tree that's like 20 feet away or the smog, whatever, at least I can smell it, and then like my eyes and taking in the colors and the textures and then touch and like literally using all 5 of your senses one at a time. And it takes me out of my head and my thoughts, and B reminds me that I am blessed to have all 5. And maybe you don't, maybe you have 4 or whatever the case is, but the ones that you do have, it's like, I'm so grateful I can experience this. And sometimes I'll wake up too, not to like be on a tangent, I'm going to toss it to you in just a sec, Val, but I've definitely had days where I wake up and I'm feeling unloved or sad because it's just like me all by myself for maybe a long period of time. But I have a cat. And as soon as I wake up, the first thing that she does is she'll like nuzzle me and kiss me. And I'm like, okay, stop for a moment. Like you are loved. Look at that. Like you are so just like receive that for a moment. And even though it's not a human, like you're everything to this cat. Like you are somebody and you are special and you are loved. And I'm going to stand in this moment of just receiving. So for you, Val, like, what do you do if you're feeling a little like when you can't be with family or whatever the case may be?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, and very much like you, I go to running or something physical. I feel like running for me, or even a good walk, but running specifically because I'm just talking about myself, is where I can just zone out or zone in, depending on what I need at the time. And I either just get lost in the music or I get lost in my own thoughts and can really just dissect the seed or of where whatever is happening, the anxiety or the loss or the fear, kind of get to the depth of it all. Also, like I'm a big have to talk it out kind of person.
Mhm.
So I'm so thankful that I have my unpaid therapists in my life, because that is, and if you don't have that, hopefully, this podcast has helped you to kind of to have that kind of outlet or hear what we go through and kind of how we deal. But that is, I just can't stress it enough. Like if you don't have that for yourself, like seek therapy or like somebody you can talk to, just to get your words out, your feelings out. And it's just, even if there's no solution, and I feel like you would agree, Alikona, right? Like after you, and actually, I'll just say this, like we've had guests on the show that have shared like, that felt really good. Like I actually said stuff that I haven't said out loud in a long time, and they've shared how it was cathartic or just felt really good. And that is everything, because like that was the point, is why we wanted to do this podcast to begin with. And that's what we get from each other and other, I talk to my mom, she's my best friend, and other friends that are like family, and it just is everything. It really is. It's so helpful.
I think also too, though, if you don't have close people around you, maybe you just moved or whatever the case may be. I think also if you're in that slump, because look, for some people, Val and I, we love to work out, but like that's not your thing.
Yeah.
Or you are in that depressed state where like getting out of bed is a big
Is
deal,
enough. Yep.
And so it's like A, celebrating that, but B, if you can't do something for yourself, for somebody else, so like finding purpose in this time of year. And purpose
Huge.
could be volunteering at an animal shelter. It could be volunteering to be a foster. Look, this time of year, they need fosters for animals. Who wants to spend Christmas in a cage? So it's like finding that, or if animals aren't your thing, at a food bank or whatever the case may be. But I definitely think
Right. Children's hospital, seniors home. I mean, think about all of those people. I've spent holidays at a children's hospital in a previous relationship, and Ronald McDonald is quite amazing. So if you ever were curious about like just a way to be involved in a it's not a charity event. What do you call it?
philanthropy. I mean, it is a charity though.
It is, no, it's a charity, but like if a charity organization to be involved in, they get volunteers to, well, I'm sure they do a lot of things, but in this particular instance, the volunteers would like make dinners for, like, they'd go to the children's hospital, where I was at, and they would make food for the family members of these children. And so, you're in this hospital and usually succumb to your room depending on the severity of the diagnosis. And so for us, it was that. And you can go into this room and these volunteers have made you like a home cooked meal. And then they also make these boxes so that, and I forgot the name of it because it's in honor of unfortunately a little boy who had passed, but they would make these boxes that had everything you needed to like spend the night at the hospital for like a week, right? Your deodorant, your toothpaste, warm fuzzy socks, whatever. There's just so many details in there. Hairbrush, toiletries, and just also fun stuff. I don't know. I was never in that situation, and to see these volunteers be so happy and joyful, and they would come in packs, like as families, like it would be like a family event for some people. It was just so awesome. Some people, if their talent was like singing, there'd be like music therapy. So there would be volunteers at the hospital who would come in and like play songs. They're the cutest was obviously the animals. Um, there's just so many. I love that you brought that up, Alicona, as like if you don't have anybody in your circle, being able to extend yourself to be there for others will be very fulfilling,
Yeah.
in whatever capacity.
And you're also able to meet people that are like-minded. So you might actually make
Yeah.
friends there. Not that that's like your purpose, you're going to help
Sure.
people, but or animals. And then you meet somebody. So I mean, that's also really awesome too. Um, Something else I also really enjoy too, there's this famous quote that I probably have said on the podcast that Meryl Streep said at the Oscars once, and she said, "Turn your broken heart into art."
Hmm.
So if you are feeling sad, alone, angry, whatever the case may be during, even if it's not the holiday season, right? It's like take those feelings and channel them into something, and it could turn into something beautiful, whether it's a song, a journal entry, a movie,
Yeah.
or a painting or pottery. But I think funneling your energy into something else is also really cathartic because you're like pouring it into something else. And I mean, some of the most beautiful movies or songs are written after someone has a heartbreak or is experiencing loneliness and usually connects to somebody else. So somebody out there is going to be like, oh, someone feels like this too.
Hmm.
So I love stuff like that also. Um,
I
Sorry,
do
I didn't
too.
mean to like swerve a little bit. It just made me think about like just how can I take this energy of loneliness or sadness and funnel it into different areas of just life.
Right. No, I think that's great. Yeah, into art, into other people, into yourself, depending on what that is, into a bubble bath, into a massage,
Mm,
into connecting with the people who feel safe to you, if
mhm.
that is available to you.
Ooh, have you
Or
ever, Val? I know this may sound wooey to some people, but you know how, if you're familiar with it, are you familiar with the term grounding?
I am.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like taking a day to take. I'll tell you a story about this too, by the way, but take your shoes off, go stand in the grass and just take a few breaths and allow your thoughts like, hey, those are going to be there for me later on. So I'm just going to stand here for like 2 seconds and take some really deep breaths and
Yeah.
feel the grass under my toes. And I guarantee if you stand there long enough, you'll feel something like an energy from the ground or whatever. But it's almost like you're, if you are into energy, that's like allowing stuff to drain out of your body and received by the earth and then pulling in new energy.
Hmm.
Um, but the other night, I was like, I'm going to do some grounding. Okay. So I went to the park, walked the dog for like, I don't know, an hour, and was like, I'm going to take off my shoes. And this is like the best part of the walk. Took off my shoes, took off my socks, jumped in the grass, and was like, oh, the grass is like icicles, like just sharp little icicles. I was like, this isn't fun at all. I'm not grounded. I'm frozen. So it didn't work for me.
That's so funny. Right. So
But have you
depending on where you
grounded?
are in the world,
You ever do stuff
um,
like that?
I have not,
Ooh.
intentionally. Like I've never done it like I'm about to
Okay.
go outside and, and do this practice because I'm trying to ground myself. No, I have felt it. And you know what's interesting? Just even about being barefoot outside, that's not like I don't do that most. I don't know. I can't say most, but I'm just going to speak for myself. I don't like dirty. And so being barefoot, especially barefoot outside in grass, is not something that I would choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I have done it, obviously right away it's super nostalgic. Like that feeling feels like
A
when I
kid.
used to play outside in the grass with my brother, right? Or the
Mm-hmm.
sprinklers would be on, or we'd do the slip and slide. And
Mm.
um, so it's that sensation alone is just like, ooh, it um you tap into that happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supernaturally,
Mm-hmm.
or instantly, I meant, because of those good memories. So all that to say is that sometimes, because if, as you know, Ali Cohn is saying this and this grounding, and that's like, okay, that might sound weird, but sometimes just tapping into some of that stuff, whether you're doing it for the groundingness or whatever, that feeling of nostalgia of like maybe something you did back when you didn't have as many responsibilities or worries or whatever pressure. It's just really nice. So I like that idea. And I remember hearing this in what's that show with your friend that you love to talk about all the time? Zac Efron.
Oh, I was like my friend who's yes.
He had a TV show. I forgot the premise, but regardless, anyway, he was traveling and changing time zones.
Down to Earth.
Yeah. And so didn't he recommended that to acclimate a quicker way to acclimate to a new time zone is taking your shoes off and grounding.
The same circadian rhythm. First of all, I'm gonna just say right now, hold on, Val. Now, because I'm gonna do it on a public forum, I'm gonna double dog dare you before the end of this holiday season to go ground. Go take your shoes off. Don't think about the germs or whatever.
The dog shit you might. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was like, Lord, please don't tell me that this girl is going to say she stepped on some dog shit.
Which I've Lord. Done. Oh my God. This one time, this is not huh? Oh, no, this one time I went to the park when I was in like high school or middle schoolish, and I thought nobody was around, and I took off my shoes and I ran and I went to do an aerial, which is a no-handed cartwheel.
Did not know we all do that.
Yeah. Didn't know it was muddy. So I ran, and when you do it, you launch off of one foot the way you would with a cartwheel, right? Got to the point where I launched off of one foot, but because of the mud, I straight up like slid forward, and literally my face, like my whole cheek slid in the mud. Like I face planted and slid. And then I got up, right? And, like wiping my face off, and looked off to the side, and a car had slowed down and pulled over and was like, "Are you okay?"
Aww. I mean, that's nice, but also embarrassing when like you are okay and somebody stopped to ask if you were okay.
Keep driving. Anyways, back to I'm holding Val accountable on a public forum and saying, go ground, go, even if it's, I don't know if this is up your alley or not too, but like after I ground, like I'll sit and I'll put my feet in, and then I'll just like lay back and put my hands and like feel the grass, take deep breaths, feel the coolness of the earth, and we'll visualize, because your mind is so powerful, right? So it's like I'll visualize taking in clean, new energy, light energy, whatever it may be. And then I'll exhale and imagine like anything that's heavy in my body sinking into the earth. And then I would get up and I'm like, I just feel so much lighter.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's really good advice. And I think it's just different if it's not something you're used to, but no, I accept your challenge.
Yeah.
And you said maybe something, I'll take a video and put it on the private Facebook page for the people who are part of Patreon.
Yes.
So, there's that kind of content.
But wait, hold on, Val. You made me think of something when you were talking about the nostalgia and the memories. I don't know if you guys know this, or maybe it occurred to you, but you didn't know that there's official scientific information to back this up. But there's something called kind of like a love print, like an imprint. So scent is a very, very strong imprint, if you will. So if a certain time in your life, like let's say your mom always used to wear like coconut lime perfume when you were in second grade, if you were to walk through the mall and find that coconut lime and smell it, it would literally cause your brain to go zoop, and you could be back in that time. So if there was a happy time in your life where, again, maybe it's fresh grass, the scent of fresh grass reminds you of being a kid, or mud, I don't know, you know what I mean? But I think that's also like an awesome way to I used to wear this really fun cheap perfume called Fetish in high school, and if I ever smell it, I'm like, it's like I'm 14 and I remember the angst of liking this boy and feeling this and that, and so, I don't know, it's fun.
That's funny. I used to wear Tommy Girl thanks to my friend Gotti, who introduced me to it. I probably still will rock that. Aromatherapy is, and just what's another word for that? Anyway, but it's just a real thing, like that nostalgia that it does from like a scent. While I was running here, and even after it rains in Florida, there's like a smell in the air, you know?
Mhm.
And even the grass here is like fat, like thick. I think it's called St. Augustine grass. But even that, like it's just such a different feeling. Like the grass here would feel different because it's kind of spongy, so you wouldn't really feel the ground as much
Uh-huh.
as you feel like in California. Anyway, um, as you were talking, I had a thought, but I lost it. But I do. I like main thing is, man. I'm sorry, you guys. I have
She thinks you guys
speaking
are
of finding
boring.
happy. No, I've just been so tired. So I've been just. I'm on the East Coast now, but I've just stayed on the West Coast, but still doing East Coast mornings ish. So staying up till wee hours of the morning. Um, but going to finding balance and finding your happy, even while traveling, even with the expectations and the laundry list of things that you might have to be doing during this time, whether it's with your children or your family or work. And then it's the holidays, and then you're trying to shop, and there's just so much pressure of so many things to do that doing those simple things, whatever that is to you, find the time.
Mhm. You know,
Yeah, I
even if, by the way, because I just want to pipe in with that, because sometimes we'll talk about like treating yourself, and I definitely want to talk about this for like our New Year's one. But if budget is a concern, do something simple like go get a little essential oil and give yourself a bubble bath with that oil, and just think of like it being such a luxurious treat, like in a spa. Small stuff.
yeah. And the as even as simple as like lighting the one candle that you saved for like the special occasion. Like I for sure know I've been gifted like expensive candles, and them things are not being lit because
Mm.
I'm like I can't light up my expensive big Nest candle like because I use candles so quickly. Um, so even things like that, it's like we are not promised tomorrow. So light up the expensive candle. Use your nice perfume or cologne. Yes, give yourself the bubble bath. Open up that bottle of wine you've been saving for a special occasion. Like this is the special occasion. I think
Mhm.
that is quotes that I've heard and things that like I was really like, huh, it's so true. Like that like shirt or dress or earrings that you're saving for the special event. I admire women very much like you, Ali Kona. I have a friend of mine, his wife is super eccentric, and she always, dresses to the nines. Like she will never be underdressed. And I would never say somebody is overdressed in general, just because I'm like, do you, boo? Um, suppose she's always has the heels, has the fancy dress, even in like a jean type event. But I love that about her. I love that it is all a fancy occasion. It is all an occasion to dress up and express herself in this way. And yeah, I encourage you to do that if that's your thing.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to say one last thing, and then I think we should get to our what ifs. But
Hmm.
another thing I think is also really cool if you are feeling like a little sad, lonely, down, or just unmotivated. Aim to learn something new that you've always wanted to do, and not
Ooh, yeah.
necessarily for your career. You know what I mean? Like I take lots of classes. I'm like for my career, but something that you've always wanted to do. If it is like a painting class or a new language or just a meditation class or something. But I think learning something new is also something exciting and can be something that you look forward to, knowing like, hey, it's Tuesday and I am going to go to that whatever class.
Hmm. Yeah, my brother just told me about a space here in Orlando, so I'm sure there's places like this elsewhere, and I'd be curious to find out. But there was, I don't even remember what it's called, but it was just like a create space or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and anyway, this space had all these things so you can like create, whether it was like learning how to sew or like building something or making masks or I'm not giving this
That's okay.
facility its due diligence, but anyway, it was a cool space that people like you have like a membership for, kind of like a gym.
Cool.
And then you would like you can like take a class at one, and then you can say, I'm going to be making this dress, or I'm going to learn how to play this song. And then there's people there who like help you. And like, they're all like kind of experts in whatever that field and like sewing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that is so cool. So like, if you found something like that, or obviously YouTube is super helpful for learning how to do new things. But I love that, especially this time of year where people start doing the goals. We're going to have another episode about that. But learning something new. Good one, friend.
Thanks, friend. All right, so we have approximately about 7 minutes left. So I'm going to get into our what ifs, ifing the most positive situation ever. So I'm going to like left field this one. Quick note. So I live in a condo. I like got a condo earlier this year because did not expect to book the wrestling thing. Oh my God. By the way, my debut is this weekend, guys. FYI, if you're into pro wrestling.
It's huge.
Wow, Women of Wrestling. Look for it on your local CBS affiliate. Notice the unsureness there. Got to Google it. Anyway, but what if, so my apartment like is being a wonky and weird, and it's like there was a leak above condo, whatever, doesn't matter. And now there's like mold growing in it, which is why I came to Vegas early. And so I'm like, what if? What do I do? I could keep on thinking like, what am I going to do next year? So 2 what ifs. Either what if it gets fixed and everything is awesome and I continue to stay in this place, save some money with this new like job coming up next year, or what if I just branch out onto my own and find like a very reasonably priced but wonderful space that's just mine. That'd be awesome.
Yes, I love that.
Thanks.
Gosh, I feel like I'm in a very like clouded headspace. Also, I need sleep. What if I am able to, and this one's going to be kind of simple, but it's exactly what I need at the moment. What if I am able to balance my time with all the things that I want to fill it and all of my aspirations and dreams? And what if it just really falls into place so seamlessly that it does not take any extra effort, and it almost feels like the things just like fell into place for me like puzzle pieces? And what if I find out that it wasn't anything, it wasn't difficult to juggle at all, and I surprised myself that I can do all the things wholeheartedly and get the results that I want from all the things.
Amen. And what if Valerie does do the grounding exercise, and then one of our next podcasts we hear all about it? It would be amazing. All right, guys. Well, we got to cut it out. So thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you do find your happiness and have an awesome, wonderful holiday season if you so choose to celebrate. And if not, that's okay too. But we love you so much. Mwah.
Yeah. Adios.
Bye.